Hey there, Kyle Souza here. My blog is talkinggeek.com, and we're talking about books. Alright, I've gotten all these books, and there's some that you can't see, from Goodwill. Specifically Goodwill, not just resale shops, but Goodwill in specific. Different Goodwills, not all the same Goodwill, not all at the same time. I kind of stored them up a little bit. But Goodwill is kind of my go-to, because there's a few close ones. And it's a very popular resale shop. I don't know if it's the most popular. Growing up, went to a lot of Salvation Armies more than Goodwill, but now Goodwill. Okay, the point of this video is to show you the kind of awesome books you can find at resale shops like Goodwill and the great deals you can get on them. So I pay on average $1 per book. Sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less. You'll see prices on all of these, like this one, 99 cents, of course. Different days of the week, they have specials on different colored stickers. So that all plays a role. For example, I don't have all my receipts here, but this one is a pile of 10 books, right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, yep. 10 books, and it was $8 even. All right. So let's see what we got here. Orson Scott Card's Ender's Game, sci-fi classic there. Hugo winner, New York Times best-selling author, Nebula winner. This is the author's definitive edition, so not the first print, that's for sure. Next was Ender's Shadow. All right, that's the sequel. Here I got the other two books in another video. Those were both published by Tor, one of the big sci-fi houses. The Christian's Secret of a Happy Life by Hannah Whitall Smith. All right. When to Speak Up and When to Shut Up. Despite what you see in these videos, I'm actually not usually talking. So there's that. This one, The Winshaw Legacy, or What a Carve Up by Jonathan Coe. This one looked really interesting. One, this is a big book. Two, it has deckled edges, which I am a fan of books with deckled edges. That's where they've got that kind of rough, unfinished, uneven set of page edges, and that's fun for me. This is kind of a comedic murder mystery. So, yeah, it looks really interesting to me. Got that one. Charles Swindoll's Improving Your Serve, Art of Unselfish Living. All right, one of his older books. Co-authoring Your Child's Story, Parenting on Purpose by Tommy Nelson. This one is a workbook on parenting. I have 2 kids. I want to do as good a job as possible. Growing Strong in the Seasons of Life, Charles Swindoll, forward by Billy Graham. This one's a little devotional that I liked. All right, this one I got for the kids. I got the kids 2 Usborne books. They looked really, really cool, even though one's a little messed up. See Inside How Things Work, with over 90 flaps lift. So here's the downside of resale shops. You got some missing flaps, right? But there are some that worked, and my daughter was with me, and she really wanted this book, and I'm like, okay, fine, we'll get it. She put up with how long I spent in the store going through these things. This one's really cool, the Usborne Travel Activity book, though. So it's just got a lot of activities for them. You can see some of the stickers are used, some of the pages are done, but a lot of it is not done. And so 10 books for $8, whatever that works out to on average, it was worth it for me. Okay, Winston S. Churchill's The Birth of Britain. Okay, this is not Winston Churchill, the Prime Minister. This is a different person named Winston Churchill. But this one seemed really interesting, and I'm very interested in history and archaeology and whatnot, so looked like a good book. And then Community of the New Testament Church, The Essence of Fellowship. Got that one. Pick that up. I think this one's also a workbook. Yeah. All right, let's see here. Lucifer's Hammer. This one is sci-fi here by Larry Niven and Jerry Pournelle, authors of the bestseller Footfall. So let's see what I got here. This one, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 books. This one I paid more, or not this one in particular, that I paid more than $1 for, but for this set of books. So I've got 12 books here, and I paid, including tax, $19.14. Okay. And so I've got a million-copy bestseller about the end of the world. All right. The Difficult Child, expanded and completely revised. Apparently, someone had a difficult child. They read this book. And they're like, yeah, I got some revisions. They came out with the expanded edition. Green Mars. All right, this one's part of the series. Red Mars, being part of that same series. Kim Stanley Robinson. A lot of times I judge a book by its cover, and that's a cool cover. But cool concept, just about colonizing Mars. You know, it's a sci-fi book there. Workbook, first grade new edition. This is for learning Greek. I thought it would be fun to pick that up. My kids are in school. Maybe my kids can learn some schooling. I just noticed that there was something in one of these pages when I was flipping through there. What is this? This is somebody practicing. And I've got some math on here. Multiplying decimals and fraction. Wow, that's weird. And then they've got some words that they've written in English and Greek. A little fun stuff. Actually, I could take that out. And then Tanya Huff's Valor's Choice. This one looked like a good book. Marion Zimmer Bradley's A World Divided, The Bloody Sun, Star of Danger, and The Winds of Darkover. It's 3 novels, all part of the Darkover universe in one book. So that's part of why it's so thick. It's got 3 books there. Dr. James Dobson's The Strong-Willed Child, Birth Through Adolescence. I got a couple strong-willed kids, and I am happy to have strong-willed kids. You need a strong will in life. You also need to temper that a little bit with wisdom. And so that's what I want to do, is guide my children to have wise, strong wills. All right, Maurice Sendak's Chicken Soup with Rice, book of months. Maurice Sendak, a lot of people probably know him from his classic book about the flagpole that he did with Stephen Colbert. No, I'm just joking. Maurice Sendak, children's author. What's it called? The monster book. I am totally Where the Wild Things Run. Right? All right. When push comes to shove, a practical guide to mediating disputes. I like negotiating. That's a fun thing, and something that I have to do for my job sometimes. So I like picking up tips on that every once in a while. And then the Love Dare. There's only $13. Got it for 2. And so Love Dare. Got the full book on that. And then How to Design and Deliver a Speech, 4th edition. It's a little outdated. Okay, that's part of what you get with these used books, is you might get something that's outdated. It's 4th edition. Pretty sure it wasn't published in 1817. I think that's when the publisher's house was founded. 1990, okay, is when this edition came out. But I'm pretty sure people are still talking. And while there may be some new things we learned about speech since 1990, I think a lot of it's going to hold true. And I'm okay with that. All right, let me rearrange these things just so they don't topple over. Make sure I go in the right order for my piles, because not that I'm saving the best for last, but I am saving a pretty exciting one for last. All right, so we've got that. You know, let's get these in here. We've got this pile. Let's get this pile in here. Just keep that. So if that that is causing a noise. I don't want that. Let me move this out of the way. master of preparation here. All right, let's move that. We've got kind of an upside down pyramid here. One of the management styles that was tried in a Dilbert book. All right. Let's see. This one, 5 books for $6.46. I think that was these 5 books right here, so we'll do these next. This one had one that I'm super excited about, though. All right. So this had Lee Strobel's The Case for Faith. All right. Jerry Seinfeld's Sign Language. I like books by comedians. Really enjoyed Martin Short's. I've read Steve Martin's, enjoyed his. I enjoy books about comedians. Jerry Seinfeld's book. So I'm going to read that. How Much is Enough? Hungering for God in an Affluent Culture. That one looked interesting to me. West of Eden, a novel by Harry Harrison. All right, so this one would be fantasy. I think it's low fantasy, but it might. I don't know because I'm not familiar with it. But I thought, man, that looks really interesting. And so it's all these hardcovers that really kill my target price because a lot of hardcovers are $2 each. And then this is the one I'm super excited about. R.C. Sproul's The Priest with Dirty Clothes, which is a children's book. All right, it's a kid's book. And he wrote a few kids' books. And this one was pretty awesome. So excited to have found that in the wild, as it were. Okay, these ones I don't have the receipts for. Unless the receipts for this pile is in with this pile, which is possible. All right. Paul Anderson's All One Universe and Harvest the Fire. Includes 24 pieces of interior art by Vincent DeFate. That looked interesting. So, I read the jackets, I saw the covers, and I was like, hey, these look interesting. Let's try reading them. These books, co-authored by Arthur C. Clarke and Stephen Baxter, authors of Time's Eye. So, Firstborn and Time's Eye and Sunstorm. All right, so that's books 1, 2, and 3 in a set there. Published by Del Rey. Always cool when you can get a whole series. Pretty cheap. All right, this one's more in keeping with the artwork of what I like with fantasy. Eric Van Lustbader's Shallows of Night. Now, this is the second in the Sunset Warrior trilogy. So I need to find the first one. But I really liked the artwork, and I was like, hey, I want to check this out. So the Sunset Warrior, Shallows of Night, and then Daison. I'm guessing that's how I pronounce that last one. But it looked good. So I picked it up in hopes that I will find... Oh wait, did I already find number 1? Nope. Here's the third one, Daison. But I don't have the first book yet. So, got books 2 and 3 of a trilogy. Smart on my part, right? Alright, The Dragon Quartet, Book of One, The Book of Earth, The Book of Water by Marjorie B. Kellogg. This one's a DAW published book. For $1, I mean, it's a thick book. We've got how many pages of story? 676. It's a lot of pages. But again, looks like the kind of fantasy book that I enjoy. Legends, new short novels, not just short stories, but short novels. Stephen King, Robert Silverberg, Orson Scott Card, Raymond E. Feist. So, got a few in here. I'm looking forward to Legends 2 and Legends 3, featuring Terry Goodkind, George R. Martin, Anne McCaffrey, Robert Jordan, Ursula K. Le Guin, Tad Williams, and Terry Pratchett. Fan of Terry Pratchett, fan of Robert Jordan. I'm okay with Terry Goodkind. George R. R. Martin, a lot of great ideas. Not a fan of some of where he takes things. But yeah, fan of Orson Scott Card. As you saw the other books that I got. Stephen King's all right. All right, David and Goliath, Underdogs, Misfits, and the Art of Battling Giants by Malcolm Gladwell. I've seen that on the news recently, and then this popped up. I was like, yeah, I'll check it out. I think somebody bought it because they probably also saw it. This is the story I've concocted in my head. Somebody else saw this book or saw this on the news, thought, I'm going to go buy that. They went and bought it. They didn't like it, and they immediately took it to a thrift store, and I purchased it. Now, that probably is not the case because this book's actually from 2003, but I just happened to see it recently. I say the news. Some show he was being interviewed by somebody, so I call it news. All right, Tight Times by Barbara Shook Hazen. This one looked really interesting to me. Actually, it's a kid's book. It's a kid's book about not having much. And I think that's a great lesson to teach children, is that not everybody has a lot. And it's okay. It's okay not to have everything, too. And then this was a book that I had when I was little. And so the Great Bible Question and Answer book from the Old and New Testaments, right? So I had to pick it up for my kids because I was like, I had this book. And so it's got just a lot of questions and answers. Bible trivia, kind of, I guess maybe, is what it would fit into. Whew, I've gone through a lot of books here so far. Let's get going. All right, this one, let's see. This receipt has on it 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 19 books on it. Again, a lot of hardcovers. I can tell there's a lot of hardcovers because there's a lot of $2 books. There's a couple 50-cent books, but I busted my dollar per book target here because I spent $32.30. But I got some good ones. Yeah, this definitely included that pile 2 piles ago because I got some stuff in there. But anywho, Getting to Yes, Negotiating Agreement Without Giving In. Great book. Classic negotiation book. So that one's a good one. I'm going to try to reorganize these things just so that they don't fall. All right. Pure Excitement, Godly Look at Sex, Love, and Dating. All right, fun stuff. Captured by Grace by David Jeremiah. Max Lucado's 6 Hours, One Friday. Step-by-Step Approach to Making Your Marriage Loving Again, Divorce Busting by Michelle Weiner Davis. All right. Fred Saberhagen's Berserker Fury. Look at that cover. Look at that cover. That's a cool cover. Saberhagen's Homicidal Robots Managed to Make Aliens Look Like Wimps. Quote from Science Fiction Age. Interesting. All right. Another Poul Anderson's For Love and Glory. Another cool cover. Just all these ships. So cool. So lost sci-fi books here. Starfarers. And Engines of Dawn. Alright, so we got that. Now that I've rearranged those, I can put this back. Okay, still saving this pile, so I'm going to do this pile. We're almost done. Okay, I promise. We're almost done. Again, this is to give you guys just like an idea of all the cool books you can find. I want to encourage more people to go to these resale shops and look for awesome books. All right, The Relic Master, a novel by Christopher Buckley. That looks really cool. Also, Deckled Edges. All right, get in there. You can really see that? Deckled Edges. So, as Monty Python used to put it, and now for something completely different. So this is a historical fiction set in 1517. And it looked fun. All right, I read the jacket, it sounded really fun. Dead Men by Steve Oliver, author of Moody Gets the Blues. The Far Side Collection, Gary Larson's The Curse of Madame C, or Madame C. Now, I am a big fan of Gary Larson and the Far Side comics. I got the Far Side calendar every year growing up. My parents, for Christmas, they gave me a Far Side calendar. It was fantastic. Big fan of Gary Larson. Strong Fathers, Strong Daughters, 10 Secrets Every Father Should Know by Meg Meeker. A Call to Joy by Billy Hanks. I think this one's a workbook. Yeah, this one's a workbook for discipling people. And then The Ganymede Club by Charles Sheffield. Return to the Universe of Cold as Ice. All right. Second to last, we've got And the Angels Were Silent by Max Lucado. Let's see, let's try to stack these the right way. Dragon's Tongue by Laura Underwood. Dragon's Tongue. That's a big book here. It's only 449. Oh wait, hold on. This is like the glossary here. 445 pages for the story, but some tall pages. So that's a decent sized book. Originally $17. I bought it for at most $2. May have been on special on top of that. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Good deals. All right, Ellen DeGeneres is Seriously, I'm Kidding. All right, Ellen DeGeneres. Think she's funny. Like I said, I like books about and by comedians, and she's been a comedian I've been a fan of for a long time, person I've been a fan of for a long time. We watched her show back in the day. Now, my wife and kids watch her show during the day. Okay, let's see. What the Bible is All About by Henrietta Mears. That one's another big, thick book. Celebration of Angels by Timothy Jones. I thought this one was interesting just because I'm interested in demonology and angelology. That's not the right word, but I just found it interesting. And then the Shannara Chronicles, Book 1, The Elfstones of Shannara. That was made into a TV show for MTV, if I remember correctly. But yeah, this is the book that started that series. Okay, here's the ones I'm really excited about. I think these are really cool. So hopefully you've hung in there for this, or at the very least fast forwarded to it. Okay, first off, the Han Solo trilogy, Rebel Dawn. All right, just one book. This is the third book in the Han Solo trilogy from the original expanded universe, what we would now call Legends. All right, but the Star Wars books. Loved these so much growing up. I can watch the movies over and over, but you can't always be watching a movie, right? And there's so much more to the Star Wars universe that isn't in the films. Han Solo trilogy, Book 3, Rebel Dawn. Okay, I'm going to save these two because these two that I'm super excited about. Dune, House Atreides. By Brian Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson. This is a prequel book to Dune. I thought that one was really cool. This one, English 1330, Volume 1. I thought this was a really interesting book. From the cover, I thought it had something to do with Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and that is one of the stories in here, but there's a bunch in here. Capitalism and Freedom by Milton Friedman, Manifesto of the Communist Party by Karl Marx, The Way of a Pilgrim, The Humanity of God by Karl Barth, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson, What Is It Like to Be a Bat by Thomas Nagel, Why I'm Not a Christian by Bertrand Russell, and a few other things in here. So it looked really interesting to me, and I was willing to pick it up for $1 at most. Okay, these two books are so cool. All right, one is the invention of Hugo Cabret, and then the other is Wonderstruck. Okay, I was happy to pay $2 a book here because just the artwork is fantastic. These books have very few words, and so let me show you here. So it starts with a brief introduction. We've got some words there. And then part 1, you've got this. Right? And I don't know if this is pencil or charcoal or whatever, but it's just kind of zooming out on Paris at the same time zooming in. So you get a bigger and bigger picture of a smaller and smaller area as the sun rises over Paris, France. You can tell it's a little bit older, maybe mid-1900s or early 1900s. You got this boy, and just the detail. You know, he's got a shape to his nose. The coloring, the shading is fantastic. You can see the sun coming. He's coming out of the shadows, leaving the subway or the train station as the train station. He's going down this hallway. He's going into this hallway. He's doing something with this grate. He's going into the grate. But see, like, it's just pictures. It's a story in pictures. And then you do get to a part where there are some words. Let's see. And so at this point, you know, he's behind a clock. You see him looking out from the number 5. And it picks up the story there. And it's very few words on just those 2 pages. And then it goes back to being pictures. And you got these, okay, some more words on these pages, and then back to being pictures. More pictures. You know, and so the story goes back and forth, got some more words. And that's the end of the first chapter. 5 pages of words. The rest is all pictures. Out of, I don't know how many pages that is. A bunch of pages. The whole thing looks to be 526 pages. Alright? I mean, it's just really cool. That idea. I like the idea of being able to tell a story in pictures without using words. I know I gave what was it, A Tale of Sand by Jim Henson a hard time. Now, I say by Jim Henson. He wrote the screenplay. Other people adapted it into a graphic novel. So if he'd actually done it himself or gotten to be made into a movie, it'd probably be a different story. I'm a Jim Henson fan, though. You know, Labyrinth, Dark Crystal, all that. And but I like that idea of being able to convey a story in picture without needing words, to be able to convey emotion in a scene as somebody flees terrified from something. I haven't read this one, so I don't know what she's terrified from or of, but it does a very good job telling the story here from what I can see. And I read a little bit. I was just pretty riveted by this one, so I read that first chapter. And that was pretty awesome. So those are the 2 books that I am quite excited about. Again, that's Wonderstruck by Selznick and The Invention of Hugo, I don't know, Cabret, maybe Cabret. The Invention of Hugo Cabret. So I thought that was cool. Anywho, thanks for hanging in there for half an hour for me. I'm Kyle Souza. My blog is talkinggeek.com. I will put links to as many of these books as I can in the video notes or on my blog for the page for this video. If you're interested in one in particular, you're not going to get as good a price as I did, though. And I would just encourage you to visit your local resale shops. You know, I need to make a video about new books that I buy, because I do buy new books. But I just have so much fun finding these. I have fun. It is fun for me to go to a store and look at every book on a shelf and see if I'm interested in it. And then walk out and maybe I spend no money. Maybe I didn't find a book, but I had fun. Maybe I spend $2 or $8 or $60. I don't care how much I spend in that one store to an extent. I mean, I got bills to pay, so I can't just blow all my money. But that's not what's fun for me. What's fun for me is finding the books that I want. And there's just a lot of really cool books out there, which hopefully you got to see a wide variety: fantasy, sci-fi, self-help, theology, just general entertainment, kids books, adult books, books that you would need for school. Sorry, these pages are bent, and that's bugging me, so I'm trying to fix it rather nonchalantly. There, that's better, but you wouldn't be able to tell. Excuse me. I'm Kyle, blogstalkinggeek.com. Thanks for watching. Enjoy.